You know what I want people to feel when they see my art?
What?
I guess mostly to feel love and understanding.
Yeah.
I want them to know that we're good people.
That was a clip from the film Love, Jamie, a documentary about a trans artist who grew up right here in Houston and was incarcerated in a men's prison for 29 years. The film is part of the American Masters series on PBS, premiering today. Joining us now is the film's director and editor, also native Houstonian, Karla Murthy. Karla, it's so great to see you. Congrats on the film. I watched this. I was totally moved, and fill our viewers in who are unfamiliar with Jamie's story. She's a native Houstonian, but she landed in prison serving a life sentence.
Yes, so the film is about Jamie Diaz, who is an artist who 30 years ago landed in prison for robberies related to a drug addiction. And she was given a life sentence and was supposed to be up for parole next year, but she ended up getting parole early. And our film kind of documents her art, the kind of evolution of her art, and this friendship that she developed in prison, mainly over letters and phone calls over the last 10 years, that leads to this incredible solo art show in New York City. And so that's sort of the gist of the film.
And what's incredible about this solo art show in New York City is Jamie's work was being showcased a world away. She was still behind bars when this took place because she was just released from prison last Friday. Let's talk to our viewers just about why the timing is so perfect for the release of this film, because obviously June is Pride Month. We've heard a lot of anti-trans sentiment here in Texas. But at the end of the day, was one of your aims of this film just to let people know that, you know, behind every trans person is a heart and a soul and feelings? Yeah,
I mean, you know, I've talked a lot about this but every film that I work on, I always like to have one word that kind of defines the overarching film. That's kind of acts as a North Star for me, a guiding light. And for this film, it was dignity. And, you know, the dignity of trans and queer people is constantly being challenged and chipped away at every day. And, you know, there's another level added to that if you're incarcerated. And so I really wanted viewers to take away this this feeling of dignity about Jamie and her life and her art, and really focus on their relationship, on Gabriel and Jamie's relationship. And what I see is just this beautiful, you know, blossoming of chosen family. And I think everyone can relate to that yearning of love and acceptance, and feeling pride. And, you know, I think at the end of the day, those are sort of the universal themes of the film. Art is very subjective, too. Not everyone may like her art, but I think everyone can identify with that, you know, that connection, that yearning of a connection for someone. And so that's what I wanted people to kind of focus on in this film.
It is such a beautiful friendship that develops between Gabriel and Jamie. Gabriel is working essentially as a volunteer, reading letters from incarcerated LGBTQ folks, and they really formed almost like a pen pal relationship, writing letters back and forth. And again, I was so moved by watching this film and hearing about how Jamie was essentially in solitary confinement in a men's prison just so she could avoid violence and harassment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, she wasn't in solitary the whole time, but for prisons, often that's the only way that they can protect people who are being assaulted if they're trans or queer, and you know, that's not unique to Texas either. That happens in a lot of places, but that was what was just so amazing about this friendship that we wanted to show in the film, is how it just started with this one letter that Gabriel happened to get, and just how her art you see her art sort of evolve from these drawings in a letter to, you know, this archive that Gabriel is collecting, to then this beautiful art show where all of these people are there enjoying her artwork. and just how amazing that, and it's almost feels like a miracle. Someone described the film as sort of a miracle, and it does feel that way, that, this relationship formed. And even Jamie talks about how they have this kind of cosmic connection. So it's just really special now that she is able to see this film in person, on its premiere of her first Pride Month that she can celebrate on the outside. Is just so special for us. And we didn't know that she was going to be released this past Friday. It all just kind of happened very suddenly and quickly, and I'm just so excited that she can see the film in person. We did this whole festival run leading up to our broadcast on American premieres, on American Masters, and she wasn't able to be there to be in that audience and see the film for herself, and that was really difficult, not to have her be there. And we would always try and play a recording from her addressing the audience. But yeah, so it's just really exciting. And our goal actually for the film, now that it's going to be on American Masters, is also to have an in-person screening in Houston, in both of our hometowns. So I'm so excited to try and make that happen for her.
Oh my gosh, and when that happens, you can believe that I will be there. We're tight on time, but a couple quick things. So since Jamie was released last Friday, I understand that one of her first stops was to the Manil collection here in Houston, and she also wanted to go to a salon. Have you spoken with her? How is she doing? I know in January she suffered a stroke. She's in her 60s now, but she has to just be thrilled to be finally out into the free world.
Yeah, we've been FaceTiming, and Gabriel's been texting us photos every day. And yeah, I was so excited that she decided to go to the Manil. She had never been to the Rothko Chapel, so I was like, oh, and you have to go there too. And I love that that was like basically her second stop outside of prison. And her dream, of course, is to one day have her art shown at the Manil. So that was just very special to see some of those photographs of her there. But yeah, she says she's feeling fantastic. She's on the road to recovery now, and we're hoping, she'll be able to. She has a little bit of aphasia, but we're hoping that she will be able to start painting again. Her dream is to paint large canvases, which she didn't have access to in prison, and paint with oil paints. So Gabriel's already working on getting those art supplies, and I cannot wait to see what her next chapter brings, and the artwork that she's going to be producing now that she's out and free.
Well, Karla Murthy, the film is so important. She is so talented, and still just the concept that all of these paintings she was creating behind bars were shown at this prestigious gallery in New York City. I know she still has a long life ahead of her and much more art to create. So thank you for sharing her story. Happy Pride Month, and we hope to see you at that screening here in Houston.
Thank you so much for having me. Really appreciate it.
In the meantime, we have shared a link on our website to stream the premiere of Love, Jamie as part of the American Masters short series on PBS. You can find that under the Scene on Houston Life section of our website, HoustonLife.tv. And we will be right back with more Houston Life.